Sorry about that. Huh. I guess the feds took down my VPN suddenly. My VPN just went completely offline. That was weird. Select SDL.
Acquiring object.
Well, that fixed the bug. So now when you hit stop tracking, it actually stops tracking. That's nice.
Acquiring object. Go to aborted.
That's good.
Go to aborted.
Good, 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 good. So, let's see. If I go to 30 degrees north latitude,
Acquiring object.
satellite's a lot lower.
Go to aborted. Acquiring object. Go to aborted. Acquiring object. Go to aborted.
20 degrees.
Acquiring object. Object acquired.
So yeah, we'll try to correct. Beautiful. Alright. So that's all working. If it's trying to correct and I stop. Oh, it keeps going. That's clever. Why does it keep going? Huh. So if it's tracking... Huh.
Acquiring object.
Does the initial slew.
Object acquired. Acquiring object. Object acquired.
So it's still got an issue with stopping the track immediately if it was trying to track on a optical detection of whatever it thinks it's tracking. That's interesting. Let's find out why that is. We're making progress though, at least, and got the abort working on the initial slew. So yeah, sorry guys about the interruption there. Hey Vectox, did you get the error code? If you could paste the error, I'll take a look and see if I can figure out what's going on there. So if object follows true, if this is true, what's it doing? It's doing move axis. really just not? Okay, I've got a new idea. If we hit the abort button, if we hit the stop button, first what we'll do is we'll reset the tracking rates to 0 for both axes. We don't care whether it's right ascension declination, RA, or right ascension declination, altitude azimuth, whatever it is, these two axes, we're going to stop moving them. And then we're going to abort slew. So, going to try to overwrite any move axis that might be left in the buffer. My error code but effeminate installed. No, try with Genie. If you could just post the error code, like whatever the dump is, it's got to be dumping some kind of error from the console.
Acquiring object. Object acquired.
That's interesting.
Acquiring object. Acquiring object.
It said none type object is not callable when I called abort slew that time. After first giving
Object
it
acquired.
a move axis method of 0 degrees. Huh. Didn't give the error that time. It just stopped.
Acquiring object.
Which is good. That's what you want it to do.
Object acquired.
Yeah. That's working. Okay. So that fixed that problem. Oh, the mailman's here. All right. Where I can import my new modules in Python. Well, it should automatically import. If you've installed the modules with pip, it should automatically import them. Now, pip, if you have multiple versions of Python installed, it might be installing them to the wrong Python version. Hey, Scott Meyer. Dog Bell? Can you just copy what it's showing in the console? Your command window or your command prompt window when you try to run the program. It's got to be exiting with some attribute error or something. Oh, you have version 2 installed. Oh, I don't even know if that'll work. I think it needs Python 3. Most of my stuff uses Python 3. That might be your problem right there. K9 version of doorbell. Yeah. Alright, well, we fixed one bug at least. The abort is now working properly. You have 2 versions installed, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so maybe pip was installing to the wrong version. .6 and 3.7. Ah, okay. Oh, are you German? I see that und there.
Acquiring object. Acquiring object. Object acquired.
So, okay. Yeah, it's aborting the slews properly now. That's a really important bug fix right there. It's a shame I can't figure out what's going on with the EQ mod, though. I'm not sure why, how, or why that's not working. Ah, welcome. Wie geht's? Guten Tag. Oh, I guess it sent out another notification after my stream came back online. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it sent out a secondary notification. Alright, well, that's one problem solved. Is there anything else I can solve today? Well, I guess I could try to tackle UFO tracker issues. Oh, thank you, Vectox. When I was in German class in high school, other kids would make fun of me for trying to pronounce it like a German. I don't know, I put in the effort, so. Alright, let's see. I'm going to disconnect scope. Stop camera. Exit and save configuration. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a commit to GitHub. I'm calling this version 6 on my local computer, but it's just a bug fix. I'm not gonna update the file name in GitHub, but I'll just recommit the current version. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to do first, though. I wanted to get rid of that stuff I did the other night. What did I do? ASCOM. I did this whole mess down here, didn't I? Yeah, this whole mess right here. Diffrop, detected declination, predicted dec. I was messing around with this, and I don't really need that, so we're just gonna get rid of that for now. Right? That's not gonna produce any errors, is it? No, I can get rid of those lines. That's fine. Okay. But the rest of this is good to commit. And I know this is not the proper way to do GitHub stuff, but I'm not a professional. Don't try what you see here at home. I'm just strictly an amateur. Oh, I don't know if Stuart Gray's watching the chat, but I really like your comment there on my Falcon Heavy video. I totally and fully agree. I'll read it out here. Stuart Gray on my original Falcon Heavy video from 2018 says, Astronomy Live, just FYI, I often use this video as proof of rocket propulsion in a vacuum because the video clearly shows the side boosters fly up into vacuum, traveling east at 3,600 miles per hour, then they turn around, separate, turn around, and fly back in a vacuum in bold. I have found very few flat earth morons that even acknowledge this video because of what it proves. Great job. That gets a thumbs up and a little heart from me. That's fantastic. Error. Python interpreter is not selected. Please set up type Python interpreter first. Huh. That's a new one by me. I've not seen that before. Python interpreter is not selected. What does it mean? I mean, I know Python isn't Python like an I don't know what the term is, but I get that Python has an interpreter. But why would you still have to set that up separately if you've got Python installed? I don't know. I haven't seen that before. That's a weird one. I've not seen that error ever before. Anyone else in the chat got experience in Python and see that one before? It sounds like something went wrong with your Python install, but I don't know. Oh, maybe that's a PyCharm thing. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Do I even Emacs, bro? No, I don't think I do. Oh, is that that's a development environment? Guess I should switch over to Emacs. I don't know. I won't say I was trained on Genie, but Python Crash Course is how I got started. So that book recommended Genie, so I've just been using Genie. I know it's not the best. It's just what I got started, and so I sort of just feel comfortable using it. I'm a creature of habit. All right, let me go to GitHub and update the SatTraker code. So I'm going to put a new commit up on SatTraker beta v5. All right. Install. Copy. Again, this is not the proper way to develop things, but whatever. I should just do a commit through the command line interface like a real programmer. Okay, sweet. SatTraker is officially updated on GitHub with the new code tested today. Emacs is an editor. It stands for 800 megabytes and continuously swapping. Good to know. Did not know that. What's that editor that Syntax always uses? It looks really interesting to me, but I never looked into it. Alright, so now let's try messing around here a bit with UFO Tracker Beta V8K. So what was I doing with this? It's been a long time since I've did any development work on UFO Tracker. It needs a lot of development work though, for sure. I'm still working on implementing video-based tracking for ASCOM telescopes. I've got video-based tracking working for my LX200 telescope. Obviously, that's what I track Falcon Heavy with. It's what I track most of my launches with. But it's not really working yet with ASCOM. It's joystick only with ASCOM at the moment. So, and I've been working on Kalman filter stuff, trying to implement a Kalman filter on the ASCOM video tracking side, and I'm clearly not doing it right yet. PyCharm or Sublime. Maybe it was Sublime. That rings a bell. Yeah. Oh, anyway. So yeah, you're using PyCharm. I'm not really familiar with PyCharm. Let's see here. So first of all, let's do that. Okay. Second of all, is called out as. So this is UFO tracker. It's the first time I've ever shown this code on screen. Eventually I'll be releasing this, but I'm still a little nervous about it. I don't know. I get messages from people that give me pause on things about this. What was the last one? There was some email I got about this. Or maybe it was a message on one of the forums. And it creeped me out hard. And so this program is for tracking rockets, things like that. Objects moving in the sky that you don't know what their trajectories are a priori. Satellites, you know what their trajectories are a priori. If you have the orbital elements, you can predict where it is and where it's going to go. Makes it a lot easier to track, in a way. This is for just tracking things that are moving around that happen to be on camera. So you need to build up your own internal model of what the vector is of the object. And this is what I use for tracking rocket launches, obviously. And I got some creepy message about it. And I've had warnings before with people saying, on cloudy nights, for example, very popular astronomy forum, that my thread about this program, my original thread from years ago, back when I was still calling it Teletrack, and it was all one omnibus program, that thread was generating unusual traffic. Like traffic from unusual sources. I don't know exactly what they meant by that. I assume they were a moderator, but they seemed to think that there was weird traffic coming to that thread, that maybe some state agents were taking an interest in it. I don't know. It creeped me out. And then I had an email asking me something about it. And it didn't sit right with me. I wish I could remember where that came from, or what that was about. Oh yeah, here it was. Yeah. They were willing to sign a liability waiver on my program to get access to it early. And it was probably innocent, honestly. It was probably totally innocent, but it just gave me an uneasy feeling. Something about it just how eager or adamant they were about trying to get access to this program. Just didn't sit right. So I've always been hesitant to show this program on streams and stuff, just because I just don't want issues. And I've been thinking about things like, should I actually give the rights of this program to a non-profit organization that will just host it and retain all liability for it? Something like that, just sort of disconnect myself from it in case someone tries to do something not good with it. So, yeah, exactly, Sam. You know where I'm going with that. I don't even want to say it. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but in today's world we have to think that way. So, in current year, it may not be the best idea to release this program and just have it out there. I can already tell you, yeah, FBI open up. Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, at OP's house, you've seen those memes, right? The SWAT team's outside. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Even though, GNU licenses and stuff have clauses in there saying, limitations of liability, all that stuff. Is that really going to fly if someone does something bad with this program? I don't think so. I think that's like a tiny little leaf covering your butt. It's not going to do it. That's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice, but I don't think it's necessarily a bulletproof protection if something should happen. And so I'm kind of nervous about that. I can tell you that I happen to know one of the major rocket companies is not entirely happy with my videos, and that company is not SpaceX. SpaceX doesn't care as far as I can tell, but I know one of the other companies is actually not happy with me right now. So just imagine that amplified 100-fold. I don't really want to deal with that headache. So much like Satellite Tracker, it tracks based on either feature detection or brightness. So it shares a lot of commonality with Satellite Tracker, but it doesn't track based on orbits. It tracks based on joystick input and or video. And it just occurred to me, I don't have my joystick plugged in. I don't know if this is going to work. I forget if I set this thing to check for a connected joystick or not. Initially, I just want to calibrate the camera here. So let's connect the telescope. How to program a joystick tracking. So that's entirely in this program. That's not with Satellite Tracker. That's one of the features not included with Satellite Tracker. I use to actually communicate. I use Pygame, I think it was. Where is it? Import Pygame. Yeah, I use Pygame to connect to the telescope, or to the joystick rather, and get the joystick inputs for both the throttle and moving around and buttons and all that. So, okay, let's go ahead and try to calibrate the camera. Oh dear, yes. Okay. Yeah, that's not really it's not really accurate. I forgot the other limitation of this is it expects the camera to be orthogonal, horizontal, whatever. It doesn't take into account a camera being rotated to one side like that, it's not going to like that. So let me try this again. Let's see. Let's move the telescope that away. Okay. Alright, let's try camera calibration one more time. It's expecting the image to move straight up and down from calibration, so. I think it already did it. And that's the other thing. It doesn't, okay, so it doesn't abort properly on the calibration protocol. And I need to test that with SatTraker too, don't I? Yes, I do. So let's test that right now. Let's go back to SatTraker and test the end of the calibration period. Does it abort the slew properly? Probably not. Disconnect scope, stop camera, exit and save configuration. At least it's now calibrated. It actually saved the number, but it didn't actually stop the scope. It'll just run away from you until you hit something on the hand controller, which is not what you want. Since I just fixed that kind of bug with SatTraker, I want to make sure it's truly fixed at all points in the program. Connect scope. Celestron. Alright. Okay. Camera calibration. Oh, I forgot. I have it set so much slower on SatTraker. Don't ask me why. I don't even know, but I do. Actually, I do kind of know, because this is to account for people who might be using off-axis guide scopes that are actually fairly high focal length compared to this webcam, and you don't want it just zooming away at high speed. So patience is a virtue with this thing. I'm just going to let that sit for a bit. It is actually moving, just very slowly. Or it crashes into the mount. Yeah, that's the other issue. Please tell me it is moving. Is it moving? Well, I hear it anyway. I can't see. Okay. I'm going to cheat it. Alright. One of the issues is if it's moving that slowly, feature tracking will actually tend to lose sight of the tracking feature. Okay. There we go. So we'll use brightness tracking instead, because if it's moving that slow, it tends to average out the motion that's actually occurring. Oh. It stopped. Can I make an exe for SatTraker? I will eventually. I will eventually once we get some of these bugs worked out. Why did it stop? I think it's like it times out. It's moving so slow it just doesn't even... Well, that's not what you want. Because if I hit it again, it keeps going again. For a moment. I do remember this problem before though, and I think it even happens with the LX200 sometimes. where it just times out and it stops moving the telescope during the calibration protocol if it takes too long. And I don't know why. There's nothing in the code that should do that. It just gives up after a while. It gave up. Why? Why did it give up? Does it function with the Nexstar SLT 130 Go2 telescope? Yes. Any Nexstar scope that is at least version 1.6 on the hand controller or later should work. Okay, we're going to disconnect, stop camera, exit save configuration. Let's figure out what's going on here. Yeah, I'd probably try to save configuration when it's in a half-completed state on image calibration. That's probably not good. Where is the calibration? So if it's ASCOM, move axis 0.1 degrees or negative 0.1 degrees. So that times out after a while. So what I can do here is say, fine, keep reminding it to keep turning. So first of all, we'll fix that bug. So don't time out, just keep turning. With the LX200, I don't remember if it really does that or not, but it's something to test later. I'm not too concerned about that right now. I don't think as many people are using the LX200 Classic as I am. It's just for my convenience, mostly. Debugging equals print statements in every function. Yeah, that's kind of my non-professional way of doing things. Just print everything. Print it all. As long as you're not doing print whiles, right? Because then it's... But I do sometimes. That slows down the program like crazy. Okay, so now it should keep ticking and it should keep the move axis method from timing out. Now here, where it does abort slew, we're going to come back up to the top and do this for all instances of that. Abort slew will now also issue move axis 0.0 before the abort slew, just to make sure it stops moving. Okay. And actually, nope, one more thing. Let's see. So gonna keep doing that. Yeah, I don't really have an elegant way right now of having it stop calibration. I need to set up a new variable in the tracking settings and initialize it. So up here I've got a class of track settings that I just keep some housekeeping variables. So calibrate start equals false. We're just going to have a track settings dot calibrate start. We're going to come back down to calibration. Track settings dot calibrate start is false. This is probably not the most Pythonic way to do it either, but it's true. Make sure I type that right. So we will also add this in as a condition. True, else and we will do a 0, 0 degree abort slew. So if you've already hit the calibrate start, or if you already hit the calibrate button and you hit it again, it will stop the procedure, it will abort the slew, and it will be ready to start again when you hit it again. That's the idea. Okay. So, let's start the camera. Connect the scope. And tracking type, brightness tracking. That camera calibration. Oh, none type object is not callable. Oh, I see what I've done there. See what I did there? I did a thing, a not smart thing. Okay, so. Disconnect scope, stop camera. That was not smart. I think I did a thing. That was not smart. No, it should set it to false. If it was true. So if you set calibration. Oh, no. No, I don't know. Weird. It just keeps resetting back to the beginning, and it says none type object is not callable, but it doesn't stop the slew. Shrug. Try that with that commented out. I don't know why that would fix it, but since I keep getting that error, let's just get rid of that error. First of all, go this way. It stops for a moment, then it picks right back up. Disconnect scope. Stop camera. There's something causing it to proceed anyway, even though it shouldn't be. I'm thinking maybe I typed one of these things wrong or something. Did I put a typo in there? No. It's false to make it true, otherwise make it false. If it's true, if all these things are true, then proceed. Why is it proceeding through, even if that was false? Because I just set it to false. How is that coming back as true? Have a good evening, Vectox. Why is it proceeding through that Boolean? Because if you toggle it, it should go to false. Maybe it's starting a secondary thread while the previous thread is still running and still in that while statement. Okay. That's irritating. Also, I realize I left off a part here. At the end of this whole tracking deal, it needs to reset that Boolean to true. Or false, rather, so that it doesn't think it's still running after it's done running. Okay, but also, this is a kludgy sort of fix, but I think I could fix it by putting that in there. Because I think what's happening is it's undoing what I just did because it's still stuck in the while statement on the previous thread. It's not a very elegant fix, but I'm self-taught, so what do you want? Okay, now, okay, and it stops. Hooray! It says none type object is not callable. Well, fine, I don't care, as long as it doesn't crash it, which it doesn't. Where did I put the... And that aborts so it can come back. That was not a problem. Just in case a different type of telescope needs that. I don't know. Just be good to have it there. Okay. Do camera calibration again. And it should keep running now. Now it should not time out, in theory. Duct tape. Yeah, I basically just did that. I just basically duct taped my own code. But whatever, as long as it gets the job done, right? So it will very gradually, very slowly move the virtual stars or photo of the stars up in the image. So what it does is it does look at whether or not the object you're tracking for calibration purposes is above or below the red box. In other words, above where the telescope's pointing or below where the telescope's pointing. And it will move the tracking target up or down depending on whether it's in the bottom part of the image or the top part of the image. So it's got some degree of logic there. Duct tape is at least 40% of all code. Yeah, just like struts are at least 40% of all Kerbal rockets. Seems like it stopped, but did it actually complete its mission? It's supposed to print off degrees per pixel, but I don't see that happening. It should have. And it should have put it in the text box too. This makes me not happy. Oh, maybe it... Oh, it might have... I see. Okay, I think it aborted out of the rest of this, actually saving the degrees per pixel, because that abort slew thing failed. So we're just going to get rid of that. It's not helpful. So we're going to get rid of that real quick. I'm going to at least just comment it out. So if I have to come back to it later, I know where it was supposed to be. And comment it out there too, for good measure. Okay. Now let's try. Celestron. So I think it did successfully move the calibration target as much as it wanted to, but it unfortunately it didn't actually complete the rest of that section where it was supposed to calculate what the actual pixel scale was and save it and print it. So, yay, print statements for the win on debugging code. Yeah, you know you have nothing better to do when you're watching someone debug code. Hey, well, yeah, but this is proof I'm working on it, okay? So people sometimes ask me, hey, are you still developing this? Are you still working on it? Yeah, I am. You want to watch me? I'll prove I'm still working on it. Now the fun part will be when we actually go to test it and validate it and actually track some satellites. Speaking of which, what's the weather forecast for tonight? Let's see. Clear sky clock. What do you have to tell me? Well, at least the early evening is okay, but by 10 o'clock it's a little cloudy. Well, it might be worth attempting a webcast for the early part of the evening tonight. Maybe do some satellite tracking. What are we, September 7th? There's no ISS passes, no light sail passes, North Korean satellite is a low pass. No Hubble passes. One Invasat pass. And no X-37 passes. Well, okay, so there's nothing really interesting to look at for the most part. Hey, it worked! 0.083 degrees. Fantastic. Alright, so it actually calibrated. That's an improvement. Okay, so I will go ahead and recommit this code to GitHub again. Let's see, what do we got for satellites tonight? We have USA 186. Well, the FBI wouldn't like me doing that, would they? USA 267. Again, knock knock, hello, it's the FBI. Why are you showing classified satellites on your live streams? Swift. It's kind of low. Come on, there's got to be something interesting here. NOAA 11. Goes almost right overhead. SL-16 rocket debris. I mean, there are some satellites, but nothing super duper interesting. What about in the morning on Sunday? Anything really cool coming out? Apex, Swift, GPB, Argos. You know, I got an idea. You know, the flat earthers always say that GPS are land-based towers, ground positioning system. They think it's they don't think that they're actually up there. Well, what if we tracked some GPS satellites? Wouldn't that be interesting? Let's see. What are the GPS satellites listed as in Heavens Above? Navstar? I think it's Navstar, right? List of GPS satellites. Delta 4M. Yeah, that was the last Delta 4M launch. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go to that one. It's listed as USA 293. It's the official designation. Yeah, USA 293 Navstar 78. Is it making any passes? No! Not making any early evening passes. Darn. That would have been nice. 48 degrees. No idea what brightness it is, though. And the distance is 21,000 kilometers. Okay, yeah, that's... it's doable with the telescope, but live tracking's not really going to be a thing. I mean, I guess I could throw my Samsung camera into the main telescope and hope to be sensitive enough to detect it on video with long exposure, but it's just not what that was designed for. I could do it. I mean, we can definitely do it. It's just not the point. Some of these are early morning passes, or early morning peaks anyway, the passes. Trying to find something that's like early evening pass would be nice. You'll say 175. It's up around 10 to 11, and because these things are so high altitude, they are visible throughout the night. That's another good thing. So maybe we'll track some GPS satellites tonight if the weather's clear. But I gotta go further back in the list of Navstar satellites. Here we go. Here's some that are early evening visible. Well, I found one anyway, but there's more, I know. Yeah, okay, that's going to be low. Oh, here we go. This is rather nice, yeah. So by 9:30 or so, it's in the southwest. It's actually rising out of the southwest near the moon in Sagittarius. And by 10:30, it's up much higher. By 11:30, it's past the meridian. So yeah, that would be a nice one. USA 203, Navstar 63. USA 203, also known as IIR-20, broadcast demonstration L5 signal, never entered service due to poor quality signal, decommissioned 6th of May 2011, but subsequently reactivated for testing. Broadcast PRN-01 before decommissioning, PRN-27 after reactivation, shifted to PRN-30, and PRN, okay, currently not assigned to PRN, so it's actually, I guess, not active, but they still use it for testing. So anyway, I'll have to do some more digging about that, but that's a possibility, is do some GPS satellite tracking. That would be kind of fun. But yeah, we might just track some random stuff. See what's up there. Vanguard 1 is making an early morning pass. But not an early evening pass. So, let's see, what about Tyros? No, nothing really good for Tyros right now. Okay, anyway, we can play with all that stuff. Boarding Group A, nice. Hey Matt. Alright, so yeah, I think we got a game plan. I don't know, maybe if the weather's clear I'll do some early evening satellite tracking. Depends on weather still, and it could be iffy. I tend to have better early morning weather right now. I don't know if that's really going to hold true tonight, but something to consider. Alright, last thing I got to do before I forget is I need to update the code on GitHub for Satellite Tracker, because we did fix some bugs, definitely. So I'm going to go ahead and push that up to GitHub. Fixed bugs with camera calibration for ASCOM telescope lens. Alright. Alright, so I think that'll do it for now. We'll try to do some streaming later, possibly, maybe, if the weather holds, and do some satellite tracking with the, probably not with the Celestron, probably with the LX200, because it'll be easier to do. I don't know, maybe I'll bring out the Celestron as well. We'll see. But it'd be easier to do with, if we go after GPS satellites, it'll be easier to get them with the LX200 than getting them with the Celestron. Alright, thanks guys for watching. Hope I didn't bore you to tears with debugging, but hey, progress is being made. So you can check it out on GitHub in the video description, and eventually I will have a site to sell the executable for those who want to skip the process of trying to do this through installing Python. Thanks for watching. Clear skies, folks.